setting things up. We're gonna get a few things out of the way. Get y'all slid over that way, so y'all are where you need to be. Sorry, y'all, we're starting a little late. A little bit early, a little bit late, depending on how you look at it. Canna woke up late today. Canna was sleeping like a fucking rock. Controller out pockets. Get the lighter. That works. Okay, we're gonna do that. Start a Q&A. Okay. Okay, the world's gonna get topsy-turvy for a minute. Done. Oh, why can't I move you? Alright. No. We're going to end the Q&A there. We're going to do this back through the original poll system. It's simpler that way. Oh, Sorry, guys. There we go. That'll fix it. Okay. Alright, so that's set up. I've got those. There's that. I need to fix the tobacco tray. I'm out of tobacco. How's it going on? We're starting out a little bit early, but we're also a little bit behind today, so we're kind of getting the studio set up as we speak. Apologies in advance. It's been a very long night. We have done a complete overhaul of the channel's Discord. We've done a slight overhaul of the channel itself. Things are moving. We got in touch with the apartment complex. They're willing to let us move in, like, hopefully here's hoping by April or late March. So yeah, it's been exhausting. But if y'all are just tuning in, welcome to the Canna Lounge. I'm your host, Canna. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Molly, over in Halfway, Missouri. Out here in Halfway, Missouri. We're basically just outside of Pleasant Hope on the other side of Springfield. Up into the hills. If we're running into any form of signal issue today, we apologize. There's nothing that we can do about it, really. We've got a storm coming in. I know it's not YouTube's fault if the stream crashes or if it goes pixelated. It's the fact that we're dealing with the data that we can get. Not to be that kind of a host, but give me just one moment. I realized I forgot a couple of things over on the other table. I need to grab them real quick, and I will be right back. That one. There we go. Sorry about that. Like I said, night last night. Patients done to the channel. and to the community Discord that we have set up. If y'all want to join the community Discord, the link is in the description of this live stream. We spent all night working on it, all night figuring out how to word it correctly and how to make it fun. The lounge rooms. Sorry guys, we're going out. It keeps trying to crash the signal. So we're gonna do this and see if it works. Let's see, can I set you there? Yeah, that'll work. That should work. Ah, Cedar Hill. It's not too far off from us, I don't think. Can't remember exactly where at though. GI Hun, you're right. We did turn around and enter a live stream. We enter a live stream 3 times a week at least. Bare bones minimum 3 times a week. We've also got our video content that's getting out there down the list. Oh, out in Jefferson? Yeah, you guys ain't too far at all. We're down in Polk. Oh God, my brother's behind the wheel. Shit. Man, I know he has to learn how to drive, but damn, it still spooks me every time I turn around and realize he's driving that vehicle. You know, if it was just the secondary clunker or something, you know, it wouldn't bother me so bad, but, yeah. It spooks me when he's behind the wheel, man. It really does. Oh. Sounds like dog's being obstinate again. Ah. Alright. You know, sorry about this. I'm gonna mute you guys for a minute. Sorry about that, everyone. No need in putting you guys through the fact of family arguments on the property. And all I ask for is 6 hours a week, and, well, drama never quits. So, it is what it is, guys. I'm sorry for that. We had to mute it. Alright. And do this one more time, guys. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. That was not intentional. That was not planned. Real life gets in the way sometimes. But I'll be damned if I'm going to be mad at someone for yelling in response to someone yelling at them. I can't be mad at them for responding. I can be mad at the person that instigated it, but not the one that responded. Because that was just straight up uncalled for. Completely uncalled for. So, apologies for the interruption to the show. We're gonna just get on into it and smoke, and we're gonna move forward. We have to. We need to. It's what we got to do. So, for what that's worth, folks, if you're over the legal age and you decide to, why don't you join Canna in a nice little session? Hi, lovely. Hi, lovely. Oh, thankfully you missed the mayhem and the drama. Real life never fails, man. It always works its way in. Minus wanting to bitch slap my brother and put his teeth down his throat for the fact of going off on mom. Canna's doing alright. We got a complete and entire overhaul of the Discord system done yesterday. Well, late last night. We turned around and did some minor adjustments on the channel too. If anyone hasn't noticed, we are now actually, what's that word? We're experiencing the chatoyancy between Discord and YouTube. And for all the work that was put into YouTube last night to readjust the system, and all the work that was put into Discord last night to readjust the system, Canna's working on like 4 hours of sleep. The only thing keeping Canna awake right now is pure unbridled caffeine from the Ghost energy drinks that Canna's been drinking to stay awake. Because 4 hours is a cat nap. And they say content creators don't work. See, the thing is, my little brother used to have that complex too. The thing is, he had that complex under the age of 18. Now that he's over the age of 18, now Canna has to keep himself from going to jail. Because the last thing Canna needs is a police report and otherwise going in because a neighbor got fucking froggy and called. You know, mutual combat's a thing. I am a registered Native American through my tribe. I had my roll card number. Okay, mutual combat exists. There are such things as tribal laws, and there are ways to handle it within the tribe. But I'm not. No, no. Bad things all around at that point. So we're just gonna move forward. But yeah, the Ghost energy drinks, they're the only things that I have found, the only drink that I have found that can even remotely keep up with the Redline VPX. Because I just recently found out that they have completely discontinued the Redline VPX series, fully and entirely. So, yeah, I had an insomnia run that I was going to drink like 4 bottles of Redline and stay up with y'all for like maybe 24 hours straight. But I think that went down the tube. Because, man, those red lines, they were different. They really were. Pure vitamin shots, man. Pure vitamin shots. But we got a new video out yesterday. We managed to get part 2 of the Asphalt Unite series out. Speaking of, we've also got the fact of a special episode coming out for the Asphalt Unite series. Because we've got the standard chapter and the standard season. You know, all the standard basic ones that interlink to each other. This one's not a standard season. The next one coming out is going to be one of the special seasons that had to be unlocked through the progress bar. So that one's going to be fun because it's going to be pure unbridled American muscle. Yeah, I'm not surprised by it. Let's get real. I know that we're out here in the boondocks. I know my signal does some really funky shit to the fact of the YouTube system. Okay? I'm surprised corporate has not decided to, like, I don't know, kick me in the teeth for it every once in a while. But we do what we can. I mean, I'm glad that you're actually double checking because reality's sake is, I think if a lot of our viewers were to actually turn around and double check, we just found out that we've gone from basically no percentage of our subscribers being the fact of our viewers to over 73% of our viewers being subscribed. We got like 20 odd percent left to go for us to have a 100% subscription based viewer. I'm antsy for it. It's just like I know that we're at 173 subscribers altogether. I know that we've got 2 days left in February. I really, really, really want to hit that 200 mark by the end of February 28th. I would love nothing more than to end February on the fact of a 200 subscriber hit. Because that would make an awesome start for March. Because we are just that close. We're almost 2/5 of the way there to the fact of bronze level monetization. And then after that, all we got to do is get the watch hours in. And the thing is, the watch hours, they kind of feed themselves over time. Oh no, I know part of it is YouTube. Part of it is YouTube. But a lot of it is my signal. If I was to actually be like in the middle of town and actually up next to a tower instead of like 15 miles out from one, YouTube would have a lot less problems getting my channel out there and getting my content out there. I'd be able to get my uploads done so much quicker that I'd be able to upload like 4 or 5 times a week instead of maybe only once or twice or 3 times. You know, certain things like that. But for the small growth stage, for the small channel stage, we're doing great. I mean, I couldn't ask for any more. It's been an awesome, awesome month, just under a month and a half. I'm taken. Canna's taken. Canna's made it clear a few times on stream. Canna's taken. It's complicated, but he's taken. Although, you know, I swear it's that whole look at yourself in the mirror thing because, I don't know. Everyone says Canna's handsome. Canna still don't see it. Canna looks in the mirror and sees his father. Probably a lot of the reason for that. But, thank you, lovely. I appreciate the sentiment. Yeah, exactly. It really is. It's that moment of I look in the mirror and I see my father. I may have my mother's eyes, but I've got my father's face, and, well, all due respect, seeing his ugly mug in the mirror does some, funny shit up here, you know? For those that have ever been through it, you know the pain that Canna goes through when people say he's handsome and he looks in the mirror trying to fucking admit to himself he is. But yeah, definitely appreciate the sentiment. For what it's worth, how's the stream quality doing today? Is it broken? Is it pixelated? Is it coming in clear? You know, how's it actually doing today? Because I know that we've got a cloud system and a storm system that's rolling in. So I'm expecting the fact that we may actually get some signal interruptions here and there. Just as a heads up. But, for the most part, we should pretty much be fine, I think. I mean, as long as I don't look like a box of broken Legos, I'll be alright. Okay, I think I know how to fix that. I think I just have to scoot forward more. Because I think it's the camera trying to fight with the lighting. But give me a second and I'll fix that. Possibly, hopefully. Because I'm watching the screen light up and dim. So yeah, it's definitely a lighting issue. Give me a minute. Because I know what it's doing. I know why it's doing it. I just can't find the setting in my phone to fix it. It's that adaptive brightness down the list that when you're in an app, it'll turn around and adjust the screen brightness. Okay. Set you closer to the light. Ow! That was my knee. That felt awesome. Not. Fuck, that was my head. Hey, that loose screw went back into place. Okay, yeah, I figured as much. I figured it was probably the lighting issue with the camera. Because it likes to play that adaptive brightness issue if it's just far enough away. And because we've got so many different light sources that are coming in, it's that prism effect. And I'm not sure how to fix that outside of, like, dimming out the fact of the windows, which we don't have the actual thick enough curtains to do it. Hello, viewer number 2. How are you? How are you doing today? Leave a comment down below. Let us know that you're here. Join in the conversation. Let's have some fun. But if it's cleared up, that's a good thing. That helps at least with the quality. Less likely for people to click away from the fact of, there's like 1,000 different ways to explain how it looks when it's pixelated. I remember I had a comment thrown at me earlier this month, and it was almost perfect. Maybe now that we have our recording issue fixed for the fact of our videos, and we have a screen recording app that's able to do what it needs to do, it'll stop looking like a Picasso painting, and we can really get into some actual gaming. Now, that's not the exact comment, but it's definitely paraphrased. But that is exactly what's going through my head right now, is at least it don't look like a Picasso. Though, don't get me wrong, that man is a millionaire after his death. Just one of his paintings, multi-million dollars. It amazes me. Because for the entire time he was alive, he was fighting to turn around and make money on his art. And then all of a sudden, after he's gone, now it has value. I guess that's why they say art's an investment. You don't buy art for yourself. You buy art for the next generation. Or the next generation after them. You know, your grandkids, your great-grandkids. That's who you buy the art for. You're not buying it for yourself. And if you are, kudos to you. But if the artist is still alive while you're living and does not pass away in your lifetime, it's not going to have the values that you think. That's no reason not to go buy a good piece of art, especially if it's a local artist. But, you know, it's that famous misconception that almost all rich people have, that art is valued and art is worth every single penny that you spend for it. Sometimes, yeah, if you're doing it for the right reasons. If you're doing it to make a payday, no. They'll rob your pocketbook blind. I mean, does anyone remember the fact of the news article that went out about the two dudes that walked into the fact of a freaking art installation for an art gallery? And just for shits and giggles, okay, strictly shits and giggles, because they were looking at the artwork that was around them and they were just fucking flabbergasted that that's what was passing for art. That they duct taped a banana to the wall. They literally took a banana out of their lunchbox and duct taped it to the wall, okay? And then they walked away. Simple practical joke, easy gag. But where it gets interesting is that these two guys came back a few hours later after the fact of doing this, okay? They turned around, they came back a few hours later, and they went to go retrieve this banana. Mind you, it's their fucking banana. They took it from their lunchbox, duct taped it to a wall. They put it there. It is their banana. They didn't let them have their banana. You know what the fucking art gallery did? They sold that banana for over $1 million. A 10-cent banana that some guy taped to a wall for a gag sold for over $1 million. I need to fucking do that sometime. Yeah, I can't believe it is so. It flabbergasted me. I mean, just to think that they took their fucking banana out of their lung. They got told they couldn't have it, and then the fucking art gallery sold it for as much as they did, just almost as if to be petty. Like, alright, you may have got the joke on us, but we're getting the last laugh. This is going to auction, and some idiot's going to buy this for a whole bunch of money. It's going to rot in a week, and they're going to be out $1.5 million easily, and we're going to turn around and just laugh it up. But it's a brain buster, man. It's a brain buster. That's almost as much of a brain buster as the fact of, you know, I can't even think of anything to compare it to. Because I don't think there's anything that compares to it. I think it's in a class of its own at that point. I really do. So, general question for you, lovely. What are your numbers up there for the viewers and the likes say? Because we've been having a little bit of a gag of fun over the last couple of streams of what y'all's numbers say versus what I'm getting. Because I'm curious. I'm showing 2 and 3. I'm not sure if that's where it's actually sitting or not, but that's what it's showing on my side. Okay, so yeah, I've got a little bit of lag in the system, but not too bad then. That that's actually an upside. That's kind of nice to it's nice to know that because yeah, we had an incident the other stream where it was saying that I had 0 viewers and we were up above like 8, 10 viewers, but it was saying 0 on my side, so I swore up and down I was talking to an empty room. But yeah, at least it's playing relatively stable today then. Because that last stream meant the numbers that went through were just I couldn't keep with them anymore. I had to turn around and ignore them because if I didn't, it was going to ruin the stream ultimately. Because they kept telling me I had no viewers and I knew better. I was physically talking to people in chat with it saying 0 up there. So yeah, I've got to find comedy in the fact of just how the system works when you have really bad data. Oh, and for the first time in a while now with the fact of the racing content, we're not going to have to upgrade our car during the whole entire video. See, Canna got smart. Canna saved all the credits over the last 2 videos that haven't been sank into the other vehicles already. Canna spent those credits as soon as Canna got the car. That car is fully upgraded, minus the fact of the special parts that we can gather along the way, which that's a hit or miss whether we're going to get those or not. But other than that, that car is fully upgraded and it is fully ready to go. It's going to be a good one. And the thing is, we're taking off that little touchpad thing that allows it to turn around and get flicked one way or the other. We're switching over to the fact controller because we finally got new batteries back into the studio. We finally got the AA's back. So our nice little piece of white controller goodness that has been a paperweight over the last week is finally usable again. So we're going to see if that modifies the fact of the gaming at all and see if that changes how the game acts or how it works. Because honestly, I love the fact that it doesn't have a paywall. But I really want to be able to have more control of the vehicle than what the game is giving me. That's not to say it's a bad game in any way, shape, or form. I mean, it is the only game so far in the entire Asphalt series that has not bombarded me with ads and actually given me the option to go turn around and skip the ads. And that in itself is beautiful because that helps with the fact of not having to edit these videos down so much. The less we have to edit these, the easier they are to upload. That is something we've learned over the last month and a half. If we have to go in and make 5, 6, 7 cuts for the fact of ads that we're throwing into a video, just to be able to save our own ass over the fact of not having it come back to bite us, it puts megabytes on the video. And the thing is, right now, every megabyte counts. I mean, our standard upload that we're going through is anywhere from 1 gigabyte to 3 gigabytes worth of data. We're getting maybe a gigabyte for every 12 hours that we upload. It's no joke. The uploads, that's what's slowing them down right now, is the fact that we're only getting like maybe a few megabytes here or there on the fact of our upload speeds. But we're at least getting them out there for you guys so that way we can get the content out there. However, I do have a bone to pick with Content ID system. Okay? I understand that there is music on YouTube that is Content ID'd, that is copyright ID'd. I understand why that is a thing. Okay? I'm not saying that it doesn't need to be there. Not by any means. There are valid reasons for it. But when we're playing a game and we're doing cinematic video of the game, we're taking every aspect of that game in. From the fact of the controls, to the fact of how the game acts, to how the vehicles move, to how the characters move. Does it glitch? Does it lag? Can you play it in a bad data spot? Can you play it offline? How's the soundtrack for it? Is the music good? Is the music crap? You know, those are the things that make a cinematic experience with a game what it is. And then we have to mute part of our video because one of the songs turns around and causes somebody to partially block our video. And I know that it was someone, not just an AI robot, but that someone, a physical human being, fucked with that video and said you can't use our song. And we're going to partially block you in multiple countries because our music made it into your video for a game that we put our music and allowed our music to be used in, that you're doing a video on in a cinematic style of gameplay. My performance in the game is the spin on the video. That is the fair use equivalent for the video because of the format that we were doing. But instead, that video is now tanking on views and has been pretty much held back on views because ever since it got partially blocked, it turned around and it ended up having that little red flag on it. Well, guess what? That's why we're not using music in our games anymore. It's not that Canna doesn't want the music in his games. It's not that I don't want to share the music in the game with you guys. In my opinion, it's what makes the gameplay feel like the gameplay. But I can't afford to turn around and have someone physically turning around and dictating, hey, you can't do this even though this is how this is supposed to be worked. We're not taking that chance on the strikes. I don't like it. It irritates me. It frustrates me. But I'm dealing with it. Yeah, because here's the thing. It's because in shorts, okay? In shorts, you can use copyright music for a certain duration of time. Whether that be 15, 30, or 60 seconds on average. But you can usually only use it for upwards of 1 minute within the short system. But if you use that same music inside of a video or a live stream, it'll turn around and freeze your live stream and tell you that you need to remove the copyrighted content before you continue it. Or it'll turn around and partially or fully block your video across the entire platform. And that in itself is almost a killer for any video. Like, I'll be straight up. Normally our videos, I know that we don't get very many views on them, but the first video of the Asphalt Legends Unite series is the worst performing video that we have had. Strictly, in my opinion, because it got partially blocked. And the damage that that does to the videos from people that just, they don't like the fact that we're putting the content out there. The fair use concept has evolved since the day that that concept was written onto the fact of black and white paper. Okay? We're doing video game coverage. That is what our channel does. We found a game that we're actually invested in enough that we're making a series out of it, but we can't use the audio from it. We can use all the sound effects, but we can't use the audio. Tell me how that makes sense. Please, somebody, anybody, tell me how that makes sense. Because personally, I feel like that's just a kick in the balls. For real. But it's why we say it's not just our signal. Sometimes it is YouTube. And it's not really YouTube trying to fuck us. It's YouTube and their internal policies. The fact that a lot of it has been left up to AI. The fact that the DMCA system, for all the right reasons that it was put in, over the time that it's been in effect, it has gotten broken so many times. over public entities and private entities putting their input in. Okay? They originally started it out simply following the protocols that were set forward by the US government. That was fine. It's when the private corporations got involved that this shit started going screwy. Wait, that one's there. That's empty. That one's there. That's empty. That one. If y'all saw the bright side of the moon, I'm sorry. Pure unadulterated caffeine and THC and nicotine. It's the only three things keeping Canna going right now. But yeah, I wish there was a way to do it and do it to where they could not turn around and give me copyright infringements on the fact of gameplay video. But I don't know how to do it well enough. We're still a young enough channel that, truth, I'm not willing to fight that battle yet. I'm not experienced enough nor knowledgeable enough in it right now to fight that battle. So we're doing what we got to do to turn around and work around it. But if you notice, we also got our thumbnail editing down a little bit. They're not just coming out as plain photos anymore. We've actually got our titles up there with them, at least. And like we said, we upgraded the look of the Discord. We upgraded a few of the factors on the YouTube channel. Our description is a totally new description, minus the portion from the original that we kept. Any of the co-hosts that are marked down there in the bottom in the description, go check out their channels, because they're all fellow content creators. Some of them are at the point where they're not able to go live yet. They're still working their way up to their 50 subscribers. Some of them have already gotten to the point where they can go live and are turning around and still growing their own channels at that point. Some of them, like King Live 2025, are basically more or less channels that made our channel a thing. You know, they made our channel exist because they gave us that little nudge that we needed to turn around and say, hey, we can do this. But any of the co-hosts that are down in the description in our actual YouTube channel description, go check them out. We've got a few more that we need to add into that list ultimately. It's a constantly evolving list, you know. But when we look at it, we consider each of our channels their own individual companies. Well, right now, we've got collaborative efforts between like 5 different creators right now that have come out of the fact of one channel and one person saying, hey, let's turn around and give the people a good time. Let's give them a show. Let's turn around and get people moving and grooving and moving and moving and getting the weight down and turning around and getting those moves and those grooves in, because you know what? It's time to have a good time. And brought all of us together and then turned around and gave us that push and that motivation that we needed to start our channels. Teddy, I know that you watch our content. Just know that no matter how it may seem at times, we love you, we respect you, and you will forever be one of the top tier, top 5 members of this channel. That is without a fail of a doubt. Because there is nothing that could take that crown off your head right now. Not one thing. Except for maybe me in Call of Duty. Because let's get real, man. You and me ever end up back on the screen, and I know that we got some things being worked out here. You and me get back into the same party, and we're gonna have some fun. But man, I'm not gonna hold back. I'm not gonna hold back. It's gonna be that race for MVP, man. Because from what I've seen from the little bit of time that we've had on the fact of a few matches together, I think the race is going to be between you and me, and the rest of them are going to get left in the dust. For real. Because reality's sake is, for a low-level account, okay, and I'm stating this personally from personal experience, for a low-level account, you may not be the master yet, keyword yet, but you are well on your way to earning those points to get up there. And that's coming from someone with a 153 plus account, okay? I'm only on the account that I'm on when we're on the channel because I started my account from scratch for the channel. Every once in a while, you'll catch me turning around and getting bored and deciding, all right, I'm going to flip into my original account and go play for a little bit and see what comes out of it. But for the most part, yeah, we started our account completely and entirely from scratch for the channel. But Call of Duty is also some of our lowest, what's that word? It's some of our lowest viewed content, honestly. I mean, we put less time into a racing video and get more watch time out of a racing video than we have from any of the Call of Duty series that we've turned around and tried to start. It is what it is. It's a nice vacation per se from the content that's making the channel grow. But I'd really love to have the watch time actually start showing up for the Call of Duty videos, because if we could get the watch time up on them, I'd be a lot more motivated to turn around and get that content out there. It's why I'm falling so hard into the racing games right now. I mean, yeah, I grew up on racing games, but even Canna gets bored of racing games. I'd be recording my breaks on COD if they were performing well enough to be able to turn around and, like, make it worth uploading them. And I'm not blaming anybody. I mean, it could be the fact that reality's sake is that I'm not as good of a player as I think I am. It could be the fact that reality's sake is, with lag and with the fact of lower signal, that it just doesn't make for as quality gameplay. Hey Sapphire, how's it going? But yeah, I'm not sure what to do to make the Call of Duty more entertaining. I mean, there's only so far we can go with cinematic gameplay. We kind of hit our limitation with that. So, any form of input or advice, it'd be greatly appreciated, because it confuses the hell out of me. I mean, we put so much time and effort into those videos and they go nowhere. Probably, and yet reality's sake is it's one of the only mobile games that we have that doesn't throw ads at us. And yet it's got such a large following, and that's what confuses me, is I know there's a cult following for Call of Duty Mobile, okay? And yeah, I know we lost a lot of our fucking players to the fact when Call of Duty Ghosts came out down the list, and when Call of Duty Warzone came out down the list, you know, they've moved on to the next best thing per se, but I know we got a cult following. And it's one game that no matter what, we all know that we can all fall back to, and it will always work. Maybe not perfectly, it's got its bugs, but, you know, for those of us that have been around on it long enough, we know how to work with it. But my personal opinion is, when you're in a ranked match, Call of Duty is Call of Duty. I mean, yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's why every so often you'll catch us turning around and asking the questions that we ask. I mean, the thing is, if anyone sticks around in our live streams long enough, when the room empties out, okay, and Canna's left to his own thoughts, Most times I usually go to the thoughts of where we're going with the channel, what can we do with the channel, what can we fix with the channel, what can we solve with the channel, what can we implement with the channel. It becomes Canna's brainstorming session. And there's actually quite a few brainstorming sessions down in the list, but I'm noticing something as I go back and I look at them. It's always the same thought process. It's always the same process. Every other video other than Call of Duty and Minecraft has performed beautifully. They've all performed beautifully except for those two categories. But ain't nobody getting me off Call of Duty Mobile. It's not happening. There's a reason I'm 153. Okay? And it's not because I turned around and let the downsides of mobile get to me. Though I still would love nothing more than get onto the fact of an actual online server and turn around and have some real fun online. For some proper console players that know what they're doing. But see, that's the other thing too. When I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm not in the thumbs gallery. The live screen shows the fact of the thumb controls going off, okay? But we're not playing with thumbs. We're playing with a controller. And the thing about controllers is we get stuck in controller lobbies. Those with thumbs are not usually allowed into controller lobbies unless they're brought in. So, I'm still playing against my skill set. Oh, I know. And the thing is, reality's sake is the funny part, okay? The one thing we need most is just for the apartment complex that we're working with to turn around and call us and tell us that we're good to move in. The moment they do that, within less than a month, this channel's quality, production, amount of videos that we're producing, down the list, it's going to skyrocket. We're going to go from like maybe 2 or 3 uploads to maybe like 6 or 7, possibly even getting an upload in every single day maybe. You know, because we're going to be in town, we're going to be able to get those uploads in less than 12 hours. So we could very easily turn around and push the uploads and turn around and get them out there. We just got to be able to move first. That's all that's slowing us down. But trust and believe, right now, the only number I have in my mind at the moment, okay, is we've got 2 days left in the month, and we've got 27 subscribers left to go to hit a 200 subscriber mark. I would love to turn around and finish the fact of this month off at 200 subscribers. I really would. Because I love my round numbers. If anyone hasn't been able to tell that from my live streams, I cut my lives usually at 2 hours, 4 hours, an hour. You know, those nice flat numbers. It's something about them. They exude that feeling. You know, it's just like when I look up there and I see we're at 111. Or the day that I look up there and I see that we're at 222 subscribers. Or 333. Or 444. Any of those where they're either the same number multiplied 3 times and or a flat 100 mark, those are the adrenaline rush in the subscriber numbers. The rest of it, it's the grind to get there. You already are. You're one of probably the top 10 individuals in the last month and a half that have actually been here and been stable since they came in and turned around and actually decided to stick around and actually show up during the live streams. Because, I mean, I know that we've got that 173 subscribers. I know that we're working our way up, but I also know that a lot of our subscribers, they miss our live streams. And I think they catch them after the fact. You know, that's what I like to tell myself anyway. But I would love nothing more than one of these days to just have every single subscriber on the channel just for one day, to all show up to a live stream and all end up in the audience section and be able to have an actual chat with the entire community. Because that's the goal that I'm working towards, is getting our community to where they're actually showing up, to where they're actually engaging, so that way we can turn around and have some real actual fun as a channel. Because we can have fun with like 5 or 10 individuals, but the party really starts going when we cross over that 50 people mark or that 100 people mark. The bigger the party, the better the fun, as long as people keep it under control and keep themselves in control. Famous, we can party hard so long as the cops don't get called. The thing is, I do, but I really need to just set up a brand new account. And I'm not talking here on YouTube, I'm talking like over on the fact of Facebook per se, or down the list. I need to set up a totally separate account, so that way it's linked only for the channel. And I'm not bringing the my friends group drama down the list into it, because that in itself, yeah, that's something that we have in the work. When he stops firing employees from federal offices where they're required and needed and necessary, then I'll join his platform. And I'm going to leave it at that. The man's firing people that are literally keeping our forests safe. The people that go out there and find you when you get lost. The people that will rescue your ass when you're bleeding out on a mountain. They're getting fired. When he stops being a billionaire douchebag and lets the government be ran by someone who knows what the fuck they're doing, then maybe I can support him again. Because trust and believe, until he got into politics, he may have been a billionaire douchebag, but he was that billionaire douchebag making awesome robotics and better spaceships. He should have just stuck to what he was good at. Personal opinion, though, They're like assholes. Everyone's got one. Oh, shit. Hi, Frankie. Glad to see you made it. I almost missed you in chat. Had it been like 2 or 3 more statements, I would have missed it. But yeah, I mean, I've got nothing against the billionaires. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the billionaires make the advancements in this country, like technologically wise, down the list. They've got their place in society. But that place in society is not in the controlling body of the government that turns around and deals with people that are so far out of their wage gap that they can't relate. It is what it is. Because honestly, I think if we had our government and we turned around and we did a full overhaul of our government and a full refit of our government, and we put the poor people, not the billionaires, not the rich people, not the middle class. You put the poor people in office. And watch how fast this country starts actually helping its citizens. Instead of taxing them, imprisoning them, making it illegal for them to try to turn around and fucking survive as a person that's lost their house. Down the list. If you can't afford a home, there's no reason why you should be punished for going and turning around and setting up a campsite, so you at least have somewhere that you can call your fucking domicile and turn around and at least somewhat feel safe. Even though the thought of someone slashing the tent or coming up with a ball-peen hammer or lighting the fucking tent on fire, it runs through brains constantly. Okay? I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to hide that. But yeah, it's just, it is what it is. There's no reason to make it unlawful for someone to turn around and try to fucking make themselves a domicile. I mean, with our housing fucking crisis, with the lack of social support, with the lack of programs that are actually fixing it, There's no reason for it. Most people don't know this, okay? But there is a federal law, federal, signed into action by our government, which was one time in a very long list that I can honestly say that the government was trying to help the people. Where if there is not enough homeless shelters with active available beds, okay? It could be a church, it could be a warehouse, down the list. As long as they have enough cots to bed and give a spot to rest for every person in the city or in the county that is homeless for that county's population. Did you know legally, if they don't have those beds available, that all, and I mean all, anti-camping policies for state land and quote unquote for city property, for state property, for federal property, outside of like military bases and shit, that all anti-camping policies are supposed to be removed, that they are supposed to be negated, that they're not supposed to be placed into effect? That was in the law. They don't follow it because state overrides federal. And all the states decided that they didn't want to deal with it. They didn't want to make the shelters. They didn't want to help the housing population that was going to hell. They didn't want to turn around and try to find psychological assistance for the people that were going and losing their fucking minds. Our government doesn't want to help us. It is no longer for the people. It is no longer by the people. The government has ran and tripped that little fucking trigger that all of our founding fathers told us one day would happen. That the government would think that it is the end all and be all. That it is the supreme power. Okay? It is a supreme power for which that we vote, we initiate, and we enact. By the people, for the people. They do not run this country. The American populace runs this country. And I think it's about high time for our government to remember that. That without the support of its citizens, it will crumble. It's not a threat. It's nothing inflammatory or meant to cause quote-unquote disruption or chaos. But honestly, if our government would just, for once in the last 100 years, listen to its people, we might make a turning point in this country. That's Canna's political corner. And I think it's high time that somebody lit a fire underneath the government's ass and made it move along a little bit better. But not by firing essential workers in the government. You want to start firing people, start with the Senate, start with Congress. Start taking the people that have been in their position for 40, 50, 60 years and start refreshing the population pool. But you don't take away IRS workers in the middle of fucking tax season. Come on, we have enough delays with our tax refunds every single year as it is. And you just fired thousands of IRS workers because they couldn't tell you all of what they've done in the last week. Dude, the list is probably longer than the amount of toilet paper you use to wipe the shit that comes out of your mouth. For real. All those families that just lost an income. All those government workers that you just gave the opportunity that they will be the next portion of the population that ends up on the streets for having lost their ability to turn around and bring in an income and maintain their household and their stability. You want to talk pissed off government officials? The last run wasn't a god dang thing. The last one was child's play. Let the vets and the government officials that have been fired and let go and treated so miserably by our government, let them take the next one. Because I'll tell you what, at least then, it'd be a fair fight. Yeah, exactly, it didn't get passed. They attempted to do it, but it didn't pass. You know why? Because the ones in power don't want it to pass. See, George Carlin made a bit a long time ago, okay? There's a reason why I like George Carlin as both a comedian and as a person. There's a reason I wish that George Carlin would come back and that we were able to bring him back. Because George Carlin said it best, all right? The rich, they keep all of the money and do none of the work. The middle class, they do all of the work and keep very little of the money. Us poor people, we're just there to scare the fuck out of the middle class to keep them working for the rich. It's not about society anymore. It's about capitalist gain and greed. You know, we got told decades ago when the concept of socialism, okay, just the concept of it, was even remotely introduced into the mind frame of any American citizen. Oh my God, they're turning commie, they're turning commie. You know, the thing is, the socialist idea, it's not really such a fucking bad idea. The fact of a population of people and a society that work together to help each other, to turn around and split equally the division of labor, power, and resources to continue to thrive as a society. That's not the problem. When a tyrannical, hell-bent, world-dominating psychopath of a leader takes over and becomes a dictator, that's when socialism becomes a problem. When you got a guy like Mussolini, that's when socialism becomes a problem. But there is no problem in the concept itself of socialism, of society helping each other, of people taking equal responsibility, burden, and weight across the country to turn around and make it run more efficiently, more smoothly. A well-oiled machine, like we're supposed to. Now understand, Canna is not a socialist. Canna is an independent. I have my independent thoughts, my independent ideas, and my independent opinions. And a lot of them boil down to most world governments are fucking retarded. They don't have their people in mind. They just spout whatever bullshit comes next to try to keep us in line, afraid, and turning around and bowing to them. Just like the kings, queens, monarchs, and dictators before them. It's been that way for a long time. Because all a government is a new version of the same monarchy that we left when we left Britain. All we did was put a pseudo-king in power for 4 years at a time. He doesn't get his whole lifetime. He only gets 4 years. Well, except for that guy. He gets 8. Oh, wait, that guy was really good. He gets 12. But he only gets 12 because we're in the middle of a war. Well, the next guy can't have 12 years. That's not allowed, so we got to go back to 4 years. I thought we left the crown for a reason. A moral standpoint, my ass. $170,000 for a fucking cruise missile. That's a moral standpoint? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyone who wants to know those numbers and know those rough estimations of what we're actually turning around and putting our tax dollars to, look up the fact of how much it costs for the U.S. military, specifically the Navy, to turn around and restock on their cruise missiles and on their surface-to-air missiles and on their fucking rounds and the amount of ammo that we put into the fucking ships. That'll tell you where all of our fucking tax dollars go. They don't go to the people. They go to making sure that people don't turn around and try to overrun the fucking borders and to protect everyone else's borders by putting our own people at risk. Let them protect their own fucking countries. Bring our boys home. Bring our girls home. Bring the ones that are overseas that have been out there for fucking 5, 10, 20 fucking years out at sea. Bring them home. It's time. Refortify your own country first. And then worry about everyone else's problems. But see, this is why Canada's not president. Because they wouldn't want someone like Canada in the president's chair. Truth is, I ain't fucking qualified for it, in my opinion. I don't have a supreme stand-up filter to tomfoolery, bullshittery, and dumbassery. Yeah, I know. Have you ever seen what happens to presidents that are for the people? Kennedy? Lincoln? Nope, he ain't for the people. If he was for the people, he wouldn't have tried to turn around and tear down the fucking 14th Amendment. If he was for the people, he wouldn't have taken out the fucking inclusivity fucking adjustments that have been made to turn around and help women, people of color, and people of fucking minority turn around and have equal opportunities for jobs. Okay? If he was honestly for the people, half the shit he's doing, he wouldn't be doing right now. Over 25% of all the orders that he has officially put in the last month and a half, 2 months in office, guess what? Over 25% of them were federally fucking blocked and barred due to the fact that they were, quote unquote, constitutional violations. Straight violation to the Constitution. He doesn't care what paperwork says. He's not for the people, he's for himself. He walked away with the nuclear football the last time, and we put him back in office. That took brain cells. And see, the thing is, I didn't vote for him. And in Carlin's words, if you did not vote for that person, you can go off about that person and what they're doing in office. If you voted for them, you can just keep your mouth shut because you put them there. Hi, Sissy. Glad to see that you stopped in. Be careful up in the trees. But yeah, we're not usually a political channel, but man, the dumpster fire that is this country it's pushing Canada's internal retard hard. Because the internal retard is screaming, what the fuck are we doing as a country? 34-time convicted felon. Proven that he removed, held, and hid top secret and confidential information inside of a private home that it was never supposed to be in, with access to that home from multiple foreign dignitaries. How much information has he probably already sold? During that whole time, the investigation stated that there were no documents in his home. People were afraid of Hillary being in office. This is worse. By a fucking long shot, this is worse. But people don't see it because they've been so fucking snowballed that they honestly think that he's doing this for the country. He's not doing it for the country. He's doing it for his pocketbook. Oh my god. Is that anything like, when I hear the term Doge, okay, I don't think of the Department of Government, what the fuck ever they put Elon in charge of. I think of the failed Bitcoin currency. I think of the failed crypto every time I hear fucking Doge, okay? It was a crypto, it was a scam, and it failed. That's what they're doing to our fucking government right now. It really fucking is. And the irony is just so beautifully intact with it. So beautifully intact that the same company that is fucking with our government is named after a failed cryptocurrency and was put in place by a man with seven, count them, 7+ bankrupt companies that he filed for bankruptcy for. The billionaire that could not keep a business 7 times over is running our country and now has his friends in office. I don't know about you guys, but that scares me. The future of our country at that point, that scares me. And he's only got 4 years, but we've seen what can happen in 4 years with someone that doesn't know what they're doing, that is doing it for all the wrong reasons. And we're right back on track to do it again. Because it's already started. Y'all, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the Canna Lounge. We stream 3 times a week. Conversation that's always, depending on the day, a totally different subject. But guys, if y'all got opinions, throw them in the chat. Because we're all, if not inclusive, to anyone's theories. Hell, even if it's the fact that you don't agree with my theory and you want to tell me, fuck you, go right ahead. At least it'll keep the chat going. But no, we never intended to be the political news. Titus does that job well enough every week. No, actually. I haven't thought about streaming on Twitch yet, or on any other services yet, because of the fact it's actually a 2-stage thing. One, certain creators are getting in trouble for having their content that they've streamed on YouTube and simultaneously streamed on Twitch. They've been having certain copyright issues that are involved with that. I think it's probably just a fluke depending on which video it is, but, that's something I'd have to test in the future. The other side is, we've barely got enough signal to keep a YouTube live going. It's why we're actually uploading videos for our gameplay instead of doing our actual gameplay on live stream. Because we intended on doing the videos and the actual gameplay on live stream, but we don't have the signal to maintain it. We go from like 8 megabytes or 8 megabits of upload speed down to like 0.02 when we try to live stream a game. Can't wait to get back into the city. Truth is, the channel's taking me back into the city. But yes, we do have the intention to turn around and expand. We're just not there yet. Yeah, the thing is, I know that we say that it's tough, but the funny part is, when I stop to think about it, it's not so bad. It really ain't so bad. I mean, yeah, our signal cuts our upload speeds. It slows down the fact of our video production, It makes it to where we can't get videos out as quickly. But it also means that because of that, yeah, the community is growing slower, but it's a lot closer knit. It's not that moment of the channel started and then we turned around and just exploded to 1,000+ people that subscribed and like 2,000, 3,000 people that are in a live stream at any given point where we can't keep up. it's kind of why I'm glad that we're growing organically, because by growing organically, we're building those connections over time as we turn around and grow. We just had 3 of our viewers today that 2 of them happen to be content creators. Okay. They just got promoted to moderating managers over on the Fact of Our Discord, which, for anyone interested, our Discord is down in the description. Okay. All of our announcements and our updates are getting posted to the Discord. They're not going through the Fact community posts anymore. Community posts don't touch the audience. I've noticed it. So all of our announcements and updates, they're going to the Discord. We have a 24/7 community chat room on the community Discord. We also have a moderators room for any mods on the channel. So that way, if there's an issue that's revolving around something that needs to be done, we have our own room that none of the viewers are supposed to be in. That is the private, per se, room. That is the room where all of the background stuff goes. And we've also got a section that I like to call Canna's Desk. Okay? If you have any form of issue that you're running into as a moderator that you feel doesn't belong in the moderator room and needs to be brought up directly to me, that's where you go. If you have any actual serious business inquiries only, not the gag, not the joke, the real business offers, the real collaboration offers down the list, okay? Then go to Canna's Desk, put your submission in, and we'll turn around and go from there. But yeah, we spent so many hours last night turning around and finishing that up and getting the server completely rebuilt from the ground up. When you guys log into it, if you do choose to go over and you do choose to turn around and get into the server, you'll automatically be dropped into the welcome and rules page. Please take your time, read through the rules, read through the fact of the guidelines that are set. After those guidelines are set, you will see a sentence that will tell you where to go next. If people are turning around and talking in the welcome / quote unquote rules and guidelines section, then I know you guys ain't paying attention. Because it tells you where to go if you look. But from there, feel free to walk around, feel free to join, feel free to bullshit, feel free to turn around and just have fun with the community. It's not just a place for me to get a hold of the moderators or for me to get a hold of coworkers. It's a place for our community to grow when we're not on live, when we're not in a video. A place where people could just be themselves. As long as you follow the guidelines, everyone's good. But that was our big project last night, was turning around and actually getting that finished. We didn't go to bed until like 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning, and we were back up by 8. So, we're putting in the hours, we're putting in the time, we're putting in the work. When people ask me, do you work? Do you have a job? You damn right I do. This is it. Because the amount of hours we put in alone put most 9-to-5s to shame. You're force purging. No. You do not get to force purge. Not like that. I'm all for letting my tank heat up, but it cannot go trying to fucking spray cold fuel like that. That's where problems come in. Anyone who's ever had a cold propane tank and knows the way that propane acts when it's cold, you know why we why we become very, very cautious and very watchful when it does that. But for those that don't know, we're almost an hour and a half in. Canna's yet to do a dabby do this show. Normally, I would turn around and attempt to wait for at least 10 likes. We're over 5 likes, we're under 10, but we're at 7. I like 7. 7's a lucky number in my opinion. So you know what? Time for a dabby do. With about a half hour left in the show, why not? I'm sure we'll get to 10 before the end of the show. It's just like I know more than likely we'll probably hit our 200 mark by the end of the month. At least we can always hope for it, right? Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a celebration because straight up, I love the fact of our 100 marks. They show full-blown progress and they put us officially another fifth of the way there to getting monetized. Canna, you can't take dabs like that when you just cleaned your rig out yesterday. Don't do that. You want to be able to breathe, don't you? Oh, man. Oh. It's alright. We've kept our reminder from that first show that we had legitimately not even a concept of what we were going to do that day. From the first time that we actually turned around and instead of just talking or just smoking or going through the fact of our tip down the list, you know, we colored in ourselves a reminder page. Now I know this is going to show up backwards, but for those that are watching this video, okay, whether live or after the fact, put your device up to a mirror. Place your device up to a mirror. Not to where it's on it, but to where it's looking at it. You know, about the same distance I am to you. And remind yourself to adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. That quote right there, okay? Beautiful quote. A beautiful reminder to take your time, be patient. All good things come in time. But does anyone know who actually wrote it? The person that made that quote. I'll give chat a moment. And then if no one in chat knows, then I'll turn around and hold to the notation of pause the video, throw your guess down below. If you're catching the stream after. Okay, lovely. It's on the tip of your tongue. I'll give you a hint. RWE. RWE. You're right, Emerson. But, RW. He has something in common with the Simpsons character, but not a very bright one. Yep. Now, who do we constantly search for? If you can answer who we constantly search for, you'll have his middle name. Where's blank? Where's blank? Because I'm sorry, it's just... Yep. Now, if you put them all together, you got the author, Ralph Waldo Emerson. That man was alive back during the days when Laura and Charles and Mary, down the list, when the Ingalls family was still alive. Back when Charles was still alive. That right there has been kicking around since the days of the Old West. Back when we were first just developing the fact of cities and towns. But it is such a true quote from such a great poet. A man whose words have survived over the decades and over the centuries. Reality's sake, as his words have survived almost as well as the fact of the diary entries from Miss Laura Ingalls herself. Because that's the thing. Most people don't realize the Little House on the Prairie books, you know, the famous Little House on the Prairie series, what they don't realize is where they got the script for that was from the books. You know where the books got their script? From Laura's diaries. It wasn't just a book, it wasn't just a story. It was her diary entries. They just turned around and reformatted it and made it revamped and turned around and put a little bit more je ne sais quoi and showmanship to it. But ultimately, the very thing that made that show was the diaries of Laura Ingalls herself. Spiritual Emerson, that's a good one. Well, shit, being on the subject of books and authors and such, anyone remember Where the Sidewalk Ends? Shel Silverstein? Well, Shel Silverstein. Because I'm sorry, I've had enough people that speak German and or turn around and speak broken enough German that I've been corrected on my pronunciation multiple times that it is Stein and not Steen. The Great American Smoke-Off. The Great American Smoke-Off. See, I'm tempted to pull it up. I'm tempted to pull the poem up. It would almost be worth taking the possibility when this live gets uploaded. It would highly be possible. But it would also be so worth it, if only to be able to get that one out there. But you guys would have to bear with me, because Canna's never been good about reading and speaking at the same time. You know, I used to hate being that kid in class that got called up to turn around and read the passage from where we're at. Though that might have had something to do with me being like 10 pages ahead of the rest of the class and having to go back and find where they were. But, you know what? Screw it. We're on the notation of literature, we're on the notation of books, we're on the notation of authors, we're on the notation of poetry. It's worth the chance. Tell me we got a charge on you. Please, oh please, tell me we got a charge on you. And that you actually have power in your battery. Because I could have sworn I turned around and charged you at least partially. And it won't take very much to fucking look it up. What's bad is I'm putting a timer on myself actually when I go to do this. Because I really want to keep that timer at just about or just under no more than 3 minutes. Ultimately. Because if I can get this entire poem out in less than 3 minutes in one go, and or by the second attempt at least, I think I'm going to clip it and cut it and turn around and remix it, and I'll turn around and put it out there in shorts. Because I may not have always gotten along with my father over the years, but there were a few things that me and him, though we may not have always gotten along, we had a few things in common. And love of literature was one of them. For as physical of a person as he was, he had a fond love for a good story or a good book. It's because of him that I was introduced to the works of Hippocrates. You know, Socrates, Plato, Shakespeare, you know, all the great playwrights, all the great authors. The ones that made pretty much science, mathematics, and theater what they are today. Now, I know that for a lot of people, Shel Silverstein might not come up to that caliber. But it was also one of my father's most loved poems. I love you too, boo. So, we're gonna give the tablet a moment and let it charge and let it power on. And we're gonna try to do this in one go. Because the truth is, I haven't read this poem since the day he passed. Well, since the day I found out he passed. Ironically enough, I read it the day after, not knowing it. Okay. Put in the code. Unlock. Code in. Unlock the phone. Get the cord. It's a little bit of distance that it needs. We'll readjust you all back to where you were. No. Alright. Figure it this way. Every time that we film, my father's decanter is right there. So when we film, technically, in our own way, we have them there with us. So, I think it's only fitting that being as it's one of the poems, being as it was his favorite poem, it's fitting that it be on the goose at the moment. Canna will come back to camera after, but yeah. Great. Oh. Okay. Yes, I'm okay. C-O-F-F.
I got a question for you, Chris.
What?
In this coming up month on the 11th, can I be on live with you?
Tony, I love you. That's something that we'll conversate about after the stream.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Load. Just one moment, guys. I'm pulling it up. No, that's not it. Damn it. Alright. Sorry, Dad. You're gonna have to wait for a minute. Because our system is being really, really slow right now. And it's being finicky. So... Come on. Come on. That's H-E-L. L-V-E-R-S-T-I-E-N. Search. There it is. Oh, come on, load. You are such a slow fucking tablet. Alright. You do that. That'll get there. Thank you.
Yeah, you got a hug, Chris.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Maybe, Chris. Yeah. I'm surprised you don't want to come outside where it's warm.
Not right now. Hiding glitches and stuff, dude. Okay. Alright. Switching the camera back. Alright. So, for those that don't know, The Smoke Off by Shel Silverstein. Well, Silverstein. Whichever pronunciation you choose. Okay? In the laid-back California town of Sunny Raphael lived a girl named Pearly Sweetcake. You probably knew her well. She'd been stoned 15 of her 18 years, and the story was widely told that she could smoke 'em faster than anyone could roll. Her legend finally reached New York, that Grove Street walk-up flat, where dwelt the Calistoga Kid, a beatnik from the past. With long brown lightning fingers He takes a cultured toke, and he says, hell, I can roll faster, Jim, than any chick can smoke. So a note gets sent to San Rafael for the championship of the world. The kid demands a smoke off. Well, bring him on, says Pearl. I'll grind his fingers off, his hands he'll roll. Where did you go? I'll grind his fingers off, his hands he'll roll until he drops, says Calistoga. I'll smoke that chick till she blows up and pops. So they rent out Yankee Stadium, and the word is quickly spread. So come one, come all, who walk or crawl, price just 2 lids ahead. And from every town and hamlet, over land and sea they sped, the world's greatest dopers with the world's greatest weed. Hashishers from Morocco, hemp smokers from Peru, and the shamnicks from Bagnan who puff deadly purgaroo. And those who call it light of life, and those who call it boo. See the dealers and their ladies wearing turquoise, lace and leather. From the teenies who smoke legal, to the ones who've done some time, to the old man who smoked reefer, back before it was a crime. And the grand old house that Ruth built is filled with the smoking cries of 50,000 screaming heads all stoned out of their minds. And they play the national anthem, and the crowd lets out a roar, and the spotlight hits the kid in Pearl, ready for their smoking war. At a table piled with grass as high as a mountain peak, just tops and buds of the rarest flowers, not one stem, branch, or seed. Maui Wowie Panama Red and Acapulco Gold, Key from East Afghanistan and rare Alaskan cold, sticks from Thailand, ganja from the islands, and Bangkok's bloomin' best, and some of that wet imported shit that capsized off Key West. A Waxen tops and Kenyan bong and Riviera Fleurs, and the rare Manhattan silver that grows down in the New York sewers. And there's bubbling ice-cold lemonade and sweet grapes by the bunches. And there's Hershey bars and Oreos, case anybody gets the munchies. And the Calistoga kid, he sneers, and Pearly, she just grins. And the drums roll low, and the crowd yells, go, and the world's first smoke-off begins. Kid flicks his magic fingers once, and zap, that first joint's rolled. Pearl takes one drag with her mighty lungs, and whoosh, that roach is cold. Then the kid, he rolls his super bomb that'd paralyze a moose. And Pearly takes one super hit and slurp, that bomb diffused. And then he rolls 3 in just 10 seconds, and she smokes him up in 9. And everybody sits back and says, this just might take some time. See the blur of flying fingers, see the red coal burning bright, as the night turns into morning, and the morning fades to night. And the autumn turns to summer, and a whole damn year is gone. But the two still sit on that roach-filled stage, smoking and rolling on. With trembling hands he rolls his J's with fingers blue and stiff. She coughs and stares with bloodshot gaze and puffs through blistered lips. As she reaches out her hand for another stick of gold, the kid, he gasps, God damn it, bitch! And there's nothing left to roll. Nothing left to roll, screams Pearl. Is this some twisted joke? I didn't come here to fuck around, man. I came here to smoke. And she reaches across the table and grabs his bony sleeves, and she crumbles his body between her hands like dried and brittle leaves, flicking out his teeth and bones like useless stems and seeds. And then she rolls him in a zigzag and lights him like a roach, as the fastest man with the fastest hands goes up in a puff of smoke. In the laid-back California town of sunny San Rafael lives a girl named Pearly Sweetcake. You probably know her well. She's been stoned 21 of her 24 years, and the story is widely told how she can still smoke 'em faster than anyone can roll. While off in New York City, on a street that has no name, there's the hands of the Calistoga Kid in the Viper Hall of Fame. And underneath his hands, there's a little golden scroll that says beware of being the roller when there's nothing left to roll. And yet that poem has yet to be spoken or said in years. Here's to you, Pops. Here's to you. Well, let's get that one in before the end of the live stream, at least. Been a long time since that one's been said. Yeah. And yet, here at Canna Studios, we're coming up on 420. Empty. About 7 minutes of the stream. Yeah. I don't think we're going over schedule today. I think we're going to cut this one at the 2-hour mark. Yeah. Viewer number 4, you missed a really good poem. Well, a really good story. Check out the live stream after the show and or reverse backwards. I guarantee you it's worth it. Y'all, if y'all are still here, leave a comment down below, because Kenna's going through that empty room syndrome again of, I see the number up there, but without the conversation, it's really hard to fill the airtime. even if it's just one comment to get the ball rolling. Because we're down to like the last 5 minutes of the show. Technically, it's 4:19. We really should be heating up the fucking dabs at this point because, well, that 420 dab. So, actually, we're gonna do that. If you're tuning in, welcome to the end of the show. Please feel free to go back and actually watch this after it posts and goes public. We make sure to turn around and set our live streams to public directly after stream, so that way there's basically no delay in the fact of them being released. If you nice to see that you made it. To like keep a charge on our phone and it died mid setup, so yeah, we're playing catch up now. This will be that 420 dab. Yeah, Sapphire, I'm sorry. I turned around and accidentally let the phone die, so yeah, it's probably going to be a little bit glitchy for a moment while it plays catch up. Yep. Like I said, it was going to take a second to play catch. It's what happens when we accidentally let our phone die in the middle of a stream. I didn't think my battery was that low, but apparently it was. But as we promised, we're taking that 420 dab. We're going to end off the fact of the show with the fact of our dab. We'll let the comments keep rolling through for another few minutes, because I know that sometimes there's a delay in the chat for them to go through. But we appreciate every single one of you that stopped by today. We appreciate everyone that's turned around, taking time to like, subscribe, turn around, show up, to be a part of the conversation on the list. Guys, we're almost at 200 subscribers. We got 27 left to go to get to 200. If you make it to the end of the video, do me a favor. Leave the number 200. And or if it readjusts and says 2 minutes, fine. You know, I know what you're trying to do there. But leave the number 200 below if you've made it to the end of the video. We keep trying to put this end video timer there of, you know, if you've made it to the end video, leave that comment down below so that way we know. If you were here the whole time and or for most of the stream, you know, that 90th percentile, screw it. I'll give you guys an upgrade. Leave 100 down below. People of all ages, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on which time zone you're in. We're going to call it for a session here at the Canna Lounge. And for what it's worth, we will catch you on Friday. We've got our brand new special coming out for the fact of the muscle car series. It is a one-time event. It is a special unlock in the game. It is the next upload that is coming out. So stay tuned, keep an eye out for it. And know that y'all came for, because we can't do it on live, but we can sure as hell still recap and have fun here at the Canna Lounge. Have a good one, everybody. Take it easy, lovely lady. Take it easy, Sapphire. Chronic, I'll catch you over there at King Live 2025. Lovely lady, same to you. Sapphire, same to you. For what it's worth, when it comes down to it, if you haven't already, go into our channel's description, not the description of the video, the channel's description. Go check out every last one of those creators. Go show them some love and let them know that Canna sent you. But with that, y'all, we're out. We'll see you Friday.